obviously. A win over lowly Clemson in a lost season, especially at home, TLC double C, would not elicit that response. But I think that was a lot about what for, want to, heart, emotion, all of it. If you heard Leonard Hamilton after the game, and one thing about Leonard is I mean, he loves the kids, man. He loves his team. He loves the players. He loves a lot to do with his program, the kids that invest in it, the people that work hard for it, all of that. And to see him get choked up in the post-game press conference while talking about the win, it kind of caught me off guard because I didn't really realize where he was going. And then I saw Ira's story afterwards. Of course, we heard he talked about team trainer and all of that. Then I realized what was going on there. Something bigger than us is the story you can read on Warchant.com as FSU rallies around cancer-stricken manager is the story that Ira wrote. If you want to learn more about it, but that was nice. It's been a tough year, and it's a nice story surrounded by tragedy. Obviously, you'd like not to have to do that. But hearing him talk about we had a lot to play for, and he talked a lot about his concern for Mr. Lynn and where they're at and in that situation. They wanted to give him a reason to smile. So good for Florida State last night and getting a win. And you know what? Good for RayQuan Evans. Man, I mean, Tom, that guy in a year of disappointment, and really his play is so up and down in general. It's you go from the Jared Glenn story, which is we wish him well, certainly we all do, and we're rooting for him to get better. And it's a nice story, and you find out why Coach Hamilton's emotional after the game, and you find out how hard they played, not just for themselves, but obviously for him. But in terms of assessing the play, it's really weird the season that RayQuan Evans has had. He's had some special moments that he will take with him this year in the midst of really a lost campaign. And last night adds to the ledger. So good for him. And this has been a story for him that's been tragic this year too, losing his brother. So some moments that humanize it all and make you smile.
Yeah, that was a legit N1. I mean, that was
Yeah.
through contact. There are some times where you get a whistle near the rim towards the end of a game and you go, ooh. Well, okay. Home crowd, maybe, there's involvement, but no, that was through harm and a great finish. And he started to the left. I mean,
but he sunk the free throw again.
And he did. Yeah. Which he did. And it was like McPherson, my favorite Gator that ever lived, the kicker for the Bengals, with Duke. He said, we're going to win this. No problem. The big they push it to overtime. Same thing last night. He does have signature moments. I think like in his top 5, there's 2 or 3 from this year. And then there's a couple from 2 seasons ago. Not much from the season in between, but, in a year where it's going to be lost, unless there's one magical week in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, you do have a few highlights this year that you can be generally proud of. And RayQuan Evans is in the middle of a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you think about the Duke game. You think about the Miami game. You think about, there have been several of these moments. So I'm happy for him because whenever certainly we've assessed his play, it's not been a personal thing. It's just been about what, he's limited. This team is limited in a lot of ways, both in terms of what they don't have, but then also in the way that they've struggled. And they've struggled in so many areas. I feel like one of the underrated areas in which they've struggled is maturity and the ability to overcome some of these setbacks. They've in my mind let it linger a little bit too long and carried over from game to game and bad half to bad half, and that's been frustrating for me to watch because I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, which was the fight you saw last night. I was waiting for that shoe to drop. Like, hey, at some point you say, well, F this. I mean, what? We're going to go through the motions and get our heads kicked in for the remainder of the year? Are we going to fight? We're going to show up? We're going to defend? We're going to try? I mean, you may not win. You may not have the horses to win. You can't just sit here and be listless and take an ass kicking. That's where the frustration came from. So to see them fight, okay, good. Yeah, kudos to them.
I get we rotated 10 guys last night, but I do think the, 46 fouls that were called?
Yeah.
46 fouls. I think that actually helped us. You needed to break up that game a little bit. I understand that Clemson ended up shooting a hell of a lot more free throws than we did. 36, well, not that many, 36-30. But it was one of those games where, given everything that's been going on and given what we do not have in the way of depth, the more fouls that were called, the more the game was broken up, the more fresh we would be down the stretch. So it kind of favored us in that way.
Yeah.
But it is laborious.
Oh, it could be unwatchable, Tom. You can say it. It could be absolutely unwatchable. But it did make me smile for them to get a win and defend the home court. Good. And I think there are important keys for Florida State to win this game. Clemson came into this game. I was just pulling up this number now. Came into the game shooting 38% or thereabouts from beyond the arc. That's fourth best in the ACC. So I said to you yesterday, this is all wrong for us, baby. We don't defend the three to save our life. Everything about this with the guys that we're missing, the dispirited bunch we saw on the floor, their inability to cover something that Clemson does well, the fact that Clemson's guard heavy in a lot of ways. I thought, man, this is going to be tough. They're averaging almost 8 threes made per game, and Florida State loves to give up the three. And it seems like everybody is treed against us, as I like to call it, during a 6-game losing streak, especially when you lose games to Virginia Tech, who goes 18 of 25 from three, and Pitt, who went 7 of 13, and Pitt stinks. So you're going into this game thinking, oh no, what are we going to do? But Clemson was terrible beyond the arc, including the final shot. They were 6 of 27. We did a really good job against it. So that it starts there. And then, I thought that they did a better job, clearly the coaching staff, to find roles for our team offensively. Clearly they got out of sort of just running what they run and did a lot more of, okay, look, this is what we're going to need out of you. That kind of conversation.
Yeah. And I think maybe some of those injuries helps make that easier to communicate to the players.
Yeah, in a way, you just say create off the dribble, which is what they did.
Right. We got killed on the glass, but we fought through that. I mean, there's just going to be limitations. And this is the thing I said before we got on that 6-game winning streak and in ACC play, we were at the top of the standings. It was, if you're in a close game, go ahead and win that one because you're going to get run out of the gym at other times.
Yeah.
Now, I came off of that after we won 6 in a row because I thought, well, maybe I should redefine my terms. No. In the end, the way I felt towards the end of the year, the calendar year in 2021, I think is pretty much true, which is, if you're in a close one, you better find a way. And they're going to have to. I mean, this was not pretty. But again, you're not looking for style points right now. You're looking for substance. You're looking that the culture of the program is not in danger long-term wise. Because when the coaching staff themselves, Willie did this in his, first year against Clemson. He said they quit, and then he backed off of it.
He backed off it.
I mean, Leonard challenged them in the post-game after North Carolina, and he said we needed to come out with great consistency and effort in his post-game last night. So when that is consistently a message from the coaching staff, you're wondering, oh no, do we have red flags galore here about what kind of culture is in that locker room for a given year? One given year, this is a good response last night.
Well, part of the problem I see with this team is that I think they're pretty soft. You got too many guys that don't want contact in the lane, and you watch that, and it's frustrating. One of them's Caleb Mills, who didn't play last night. Then he can be a skillful player that is capable of lighting people up. So you want him, but he's also, I think he plays soft, frankly. And so when you watch him, now he didn't play last night, but we have other guys that are afraid of, I don't want to say afraid, a shoe contact, and that is frustrating.
They're not fans of it.
Yeah, not fans of it. And so that is very frustrating. And I've wanted, I've certainly wanted, I think, to see a tougher team mentally and physically. I thought they were pretty tough last night. So that is a direct response to being called out, and that's good to see. Also, by the way, it's funny watching Clemson play. They got to be maddening if you're a Clemson fan and watching them play. You got a couple of really good players.
They've been close in a couple of games. Duke and North Carolina, they took down to the wire.
Yeah, they just never win those games. And then you're playing a shortened bench for Florida State, a team that I know how many people play, but I'm talking about guys that are viable players in this league that are having to give it a go last night, and you still lose that game. That's going to be frustrating.
Well, the thing I find interesting when you're talking about carving roles, only 8 turnovers, and it felt like it. Now we will turn the ball over. That's something this program has done, no matter if it was 1.0 junkyard dog days. They did it a lot. Live ball turnovers. Killed our season one year against Cincinnati with Luke. And then there's been, since then, with the offensive era of FSU basketball and the skill era, there'll be times when you look up at the score sheet and it's 19, 20 turnovers, and you go, good God, if we cut that down by 30%, we win this game by 15.
Right.
Well, only 8 last night. These are the little things that you got to put together. You got to play smarter, and you can't turn the ball over when you don't have much talent on the court. it feels so weird to be in this place with FSU basketball. It reminds me of some of the older days, probably in the middle of our time on the FM dial.
I had to search.
Right, where you're like, how do I break this game down? We're not good. But, if you find a way with all these injuries, and then you have the I don't want to call it a heartwarming story because it's also a very sad story about what's going on inside the basketball program. It's compelling, though, and I'm just happy that they got the job done last night because maybe you put a smile on somebody's face who's up in Cincinnati in a cancer ward.
Yeah, you're talking about Jared Glenn, and Ira Chaffel did a great job of documenting that story on Warchant.com. He's an FSU student manager. He's been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, as you just alluded to, and as I did at the top, and he was returning to his home to receive treatment. So, obviously the team is going to rally around that young man. And if you think about RayQuan Evans, who's lost his older brother earlier this year, this has been a rough go, and I can only imagine the sense of wanting to provide relief in some way, if it's just a game, whatever it might be, a moment in time. And he did. He had a performance for the ages, and one that he'll always remember. 28 points, 7 of 13 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 12 of 13 from the free throw line, including that last one, which was so huge on the and one. 4 assists, 2 steals. It was a game that he'll never forget. None of us will forget. So good for RayQuan Evans, and we wish Jared Glenn nothing but the best, obviously. Cameron Fletcher had 17 points off the bench on 4 of 10 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Also had a team-high 8 rebounds, which I was impressed by more than anything else. Matthew Cleveland had 13 points, 6 of 13. If he ever learns to shoot, he'll be unstoppable. I mean, he had a better night, obviously, from the floor last night. But if he gets consistent in hitting open looks, he hit mid-range jumpers last night. God forbid he develops a 3 because he's quick and he's athletic. And
he loves that 19-footer, but, a little variety wouldn't kill you, would it?
I know. But again, he hadn't played a lot of basketball, not in college anyhow. So again, you would love to see him come back. I don't know if it'll happen, but you had a better offensive performance because guys were assertive. The guys I just named in particular, Cleveland, Evans, and Fletcher, were 3 guys that were clearly given the green light to beat somebody off the bounce and make shots.
There it is. That's what I want to watch the rest of the year because I think there are some players, younger players, who they're going to need the offseason.
Worley needs the offseason, to say the least.
Okay.
You go. I mean, it's fairly evident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let this final 3-week stretch, except for that one magical week in Brooklyn, be about Cameron Fletcher's development. Look at that raw ability. You know what? He needs more time on the court. He's going to screw up. He's going to get lost in a half court defensively. It happens all the time.
He ain't going to defend anybody. That's correct.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But you know what? More at bats, so to speak, for this young man because, well, what else? What else are you going to work on? Let him get a lot better because he could be an asset. And the moment it's the flip comes on or the switch comes on for him,
he figures it out. There he goes.
Then he's gone.
He's
gone.
Goes the chair. I'm throwing this into a lake.
That was multiple times this segment.
And I tried to keep it together. Into a lake it goes. That would be bad for the environment, but something's going to happen to this chair. It's not good.
Well, retention pond.
So, final ribbon on this for now, and we'll move on to some other items, including football. But look, they're not going to an NCAA tournament. That we know. It is a moment, albeit I was tired of losing at home, so let's make sure we go ahead and secure these home wins while we can. I still take great pride in that record. They flashed that number up last night on the TV about the previous 5 years, and then this year, you're like, good God, we have been something of an invincible bunch for the past 5 years at home, and very susceptible this year to losses against horrible teams. So I'm glad we didn't add to the ledger there. But they're not a tournament team, and I don't think, frankly, that I guess maybe an NIT. Do I need to? Maybe.
There's a bit of a pulse there.
There is a pulse. Okay. There you go.
The ding is, you know what? He's about to leave Railroad Square.
I'll stick around. All right. I'll smoke some more. So there it is, right, for them. But if we win, if Florida State wins 2 of the remaining 5 games, one of them will not be this weekend when we face first place Duke, who is hell-bent on revenge, obviously. If you win 2 of your remaining 5 games, you guarantee, Tom, a 17th straight winning season, which is a record for this program by a lot.
Okay, so Conti Forum Monday night.
Something to shoot for, right?
Yeah. In the Conti Forum, we got a big game Monday night.
On to the Conti Forum we go. I love saying that.
Boy, they couldn't move the Duke game off at 6 p.m. on Saturday. Yeesh.
How about a little 11 a.m. tip?
Oh, yeah.
Little 11 a.m. tip for that one.
The announcers aren't even in the building. They're just back in the studio here.
Let's take a glance of what's going on there. Yeah. No. I'm looking back through. Let's see. What do we have? The remaining schedule.
Well, okay. So I've got it.
Yeah, go ahead. Pull it up. I think. Oh, so outside of the Duke game, which is a butt kicking waiting to happen.
Conti Forum on Monday. The JPJ Arena the following Saturday. Notre Dame here. And then NC State on the final Saturday of the season.
Whom we've already beaten on the road.
We have the Vista that day, too.
Okay. Who would have thunk it that we would be filing into the TLC to partake, embrace, enjoy the Vista with the last opportunity to win a game that keeps us from having a losing record on the season? Because I think that's what's going to happen given what you just laid out.
Not exactly easy down the stretch.
What a big night at BC, at Virginia, Notre Dame, and NC State. Here we go.
And I got to tell you, I don't think that Monday game is going to be pretty. I think you're looking at 38 all with 12 minutes to go. Some kind of nastiness like that.
At BC?
Yeah.
No, it won't be pretty. We're not capable of making this an aesthetically pleasing game.
I mean, I think it's going to be Pitt Redux, except it's going to be on the road this time.
Get you some, BC. We need this win.
We
have to have this win because we're not beating Virginia up there at the JPJ. We're not beating Notre Dame here in all likelihood. We can beat NC State here. All right, so this game, this is everything on Monday,
If we score 7 points in the final 5 minutes, I think we carry it. I think we do.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. All I know is my family is much happier now that I've been altered. My people even brought Mr. Jingles to Tally Spay.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas.
How you feeling, Mr. Jingles?
Leave me alone! Ugh, you're right. He is a lot nicer. Go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Were you sold a lifetime of dream vacations only to get stuck in a timeshare with a lifetime of rising fees, point scams, and lies?
I was completely taken advantage of.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group, has been fighting and winning battles with timeshare companies for over a decade, canceling over 16,000 timeshares, resulting in $257 million of timeshare debt eliminated.
I believe that it's my job and my duty to help people out of their timeshare if they've been lied to and they've been done wrong.
If it wasn't for Wesley, I would be broke.
Wesley Financial Group has thousands of verified reviews, averaging 4.9 and 5 stars for a reason. They get results.
I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
For your free consultation and information kit, call now. 800-969-5511. 800-969-5511. That's 800-969-5511.
Clean, renewable energy means fresher air, healthier residents, new green jobs, and a stronger, more resilient community. How we get there is up to you. Share your input today to help shape the Tallahassee of tomorrow. Take the Clean Energy Survey at talgov.com.
Are you stumped on who to call for fast and affordable crane and tree service? Deep South Tree Service is a cut above the rest. They go out on a limb for their customers. With the largest crane in the Big Bend area, no job is too tall, no job is too small. Call Rob for a free quote today. 850-877-TREE. That's 877-8733. Deep South Tree Service. Our roots run deep.
Siri, tell me a joke. The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Offensive line, discussing the offensive line depth chart as we get moving towards spring football. After today's show, Jeff Cameron show, I will be doing the same with Ira and Corey about the quarterback position, and I look forward to that as well. I actually think we agree more than we don't. It's been presented a little bit differently, and that's mainly due to Corey's insane hyperbole. But that said, it will be fun to discuss. There's really no wiggle room there. I don't think there's a lot. There's no mystery. We're not unveiling anything. Like, everybody knows who the starting quarterback is. It's just a matter of to what degree can he improve from the pocket? That's really the question that we're talking about. That's really all it is.
And with all these exercises, we either have a discussion question up on warchant.com for the members on the message board, or a poll question. And a poll question for the particular topic that you will be hitting on is Mike Norvell handling the quarterback situation correctly? And the options are, yes, I believe what he's doing. It will be second one is it will be okay if he adds a transfer / backup after spring. Can't bank on Travis' health for 12 games.
Yeah.
Third option is no. He should have brought in a qualified transfer to compete with Jordan Travis in spring. Or 4, it's no, Travis is just not the answer. So those are the 4 options people have been voting on.
Well, good. Vote away, everybody. Get after it. You vote to your heart's content, and talk about where you fall on that group of 4, I guess it is, the answers. Listen, I think that reasonable people can disagree on this situation as to what we think of Jordan Travis and his upside, or what should have been done prior to now. But I think we're all going to agree that it's quite clear. It's been made abundantly clear that this is his team, and Florida State will go as far as his improvements. Because to me, I think both personally and then on the offensive line as well as at wide receiver, I think you're just talking about vast improvements that are possible, Tom. And again, I think we might debate the degree to which it happens. We might debate what's possible, what's the ceiling. We might go through the machinations of, well, I think he can get better in this area because he's got improved receivers, or this area because his offensive line's better, or this area because whatever it might be. But there's no doubt that Norvell has decided that he's the guy, and at best you're going to bring in a guy that you feel like could step in if he gets hurt, and you don't automatically lose the game. You're not sentenced to a loss just because Jordan Travis goes down, which a year ago, if Jordan Travis went down or was unavailable for whatever reason, and I'm talking about in game preparation, you fell further back behind and you really had no chance to win a football game if that happens. You can't go into a season, a pivotal season like this one for Mike, and then just cross your fingers that Jordan is available for every single game. Because to me, it's just not realistic. His history tells you it's not realistic. And if that's the case, because it's not like you're going to tell him not to run. I mean, he's a valuable weapon when he's running, obviously. So he's going to be subject to being hit. And if he has to miss a series or a quarter, that's it. You better have somebody that can come in and hold down the fort. So I am very interested what they do in the fall in terms of a viable backup. Obviously, I don't think they're bringing in a guy to be a starter. If you were going to do that, you would have done it for spring. So you're only bringing a guy that's a viable backup. And we just don't, part of the problem, and I'm rooting for the kid because I know he puts in the work and I know he cares and he has a requisite skill set. I think it's all between the ears. And at this level, I can understand how it would be. I'm not being dismissive, but Rodemaker is an athletic kid. He's a tall kid who's got a good arm. He has the requisite physical tools to play the position. But when the lights have come on or he's been asked to do it when it matters most, and I'm talking about either in a game or in a spring game, a situation where he's with the ones at all and it matters and they're evaluating, he has failed miserably. So there's no reason to believe that he's suddenly going to get over those fears, the stage fright of which I speak. He might, and wouldn't that be nice? But I think because you haven't seen it yet, and because Jordan Travis has limitations physically, and then I think sometimes in terms of his ability to throw the ball accurately, consistently from the pocket, we haven't seen that growth yet either. Now that may change. I think that's up for debate. But then you have to find somebody. You have to find somebody and I think that's certainly what they were trying to do when they brought in McKenzie Milton, was the idea that maybe McKenzie could get back to something of himself, maybe not completely, but something close to what he was at UCF. And then therefore you'd have a legitimate quarterback battle. And if Jordan lost the battle, well, then you'd have a really viable backup. And if Jordan won the battle and McKenzie was anywhere close to what he was, then it meant that Jordan had taken a huge step forward and that McKenzie would be a very viable backup. And as it turned out, McKenzie was not. He physically could not play the game anymore. And when he came in, save for 4 throws against Notre Dame, he really was a fairly useless player in terms of trying to win football games. And that's not me being cruel. That's an honest assessment. He physically couldn't throw the ball with any degree of consistency. He didn't have a strong arm. His foot wouldn't allow him to really step into throws. He couldn't move. So he was useless. So, you can't be in that situation again. You have got to have a viable backup.
Yeah, the shame of that was, his brain clearly told him where the ball needed to go.
Yeah.
But that's the thing here is this came up when I was on a video for the running backs and for the offensive line. And it's that the goal here, not just at the quarterback position or wherever, just offensively speaking, is to create a balance that hasn't existed since Mike Norvell took over here. We've had no balance because there's been no threat of receivers that can win one-on-one battles. You have to throw them open, or you have to scheme open a rub that creates the separation. You need to get the ball down the field. Short of Ja'Kai Douglas getting down the field, you don't really see many throws to receivers who maybe won a battle. You see throws down the field that somebody's wide open because of scheme. Like Ja'Kai actually won a couple of battles last year down the field by a step or two, and then you see a throw into the bucket. Like a real football play.
It was a single read throw.
Right.
And he was predetermined. And I think where we get into the debates that I believe there's a misunderstanding of what my stance is. I'm not saying Jordan Travis can't throw an accurate football if he knows where he's going with the football pre-snap and that guy gets open. He can. I'm saying it's all the other stuff from the pocket that we don't see. And so that has to change. That has to change. I need to see a guy that when we play a defense, I'm going to have to say this on the video, but it's fine. I need to see a guy that when a defense that has viable linebackers that can run and read and safeties that can spy, can you beat somebody from the pocket? Can you get to your second and third receiver and put it on them accurately? Can we go 1, 2, 3 throw and you do that in a drop back pass game? Because I know you can run. You're running better than most any player I've ever seen at the position. He's a real weapon as a runner. Nobody's arguing that. It's all the other stuff that he's got to do. Because, you're going to face maybe 3, 4 teams that can take it away.
Yeah, with consistency. Like 4th and 14 is an example of what you're talking about, but you need to see that with enough consistency. But
of course,
the problem is, and this is where, again, the balance to me is the biggest topic, bigger than anything else. Because if you're Tate or Duffy or a transfer that comes in and you have last year's receiving core, well, you're screwed before the ball is snapped. You have to be preternatural like Jordan Travis with your legs in order to even create matchups to win with.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tate is a good athlete, but he's not half the runner that Jordan is. Is that fair to say? Like
very
he's mobile,
very few are, right. Yeah.
But the point is, okay, so if you're less than half the runner than Jordan is, your offensive line is below average, and I think that's fair. It's not worse than below average. It's not better than below average. and your receivers stink, like, what are you supposed to do? You're screwed. You're screwed before the ball snapped, and you've got confidence issues. Good luck gaining confidence in that situation. So, again, for Tate or Duffy or the transfer that comes in, if this receiving core, these 4 guys, help create a segment group along with the development of a Malik McClain or Ja'Kai, who's playing running back receiver this year, or Burrell or whoever, and you have 3 to 4 receivers that are okay, maybe 1 or 2 that you feel pretty good about, now you're in a position where anybody might be able to succeed if they have to come in for 2 or 3 drives, because you've got a chance with balance on the field that doesn't see a defense play you without respect. They've got to earn it. Same thing for the offensive line. The offensive line, we believe, is developing and getting better, but imagine an offense that has balance so you don't have to worry about crazy games and stunts because they can't stack 7 or 8 at the line of scrimmage indiscriminately.
Yeah.
That's the goal here, is the balance that we're searching for.
Yeah, and by the way, all of that is symbiotic. If the offensive line is vastly improved, then Jordan Travis has a chance to get comfortable in the pocket and go through his progressions and make a read that isn't his first receiver and make a throw. If the offensive line does that and he doesn't take the step forward, we'll know instantly that it's just not happening. I mean, at some point, it's got to happen. I know he's only started 22 games in his career here. Seems like that's impossible since he's been here for 25 years. But I mean, at some point I need to see it. I got to see it. Maybe it happens. That's what everybody who is in the camp of Jordan Travis, and listen, I want him to succeed 100%. But if you're in his camp and you're a big believer, you're a believer because you say it'll be the first time that he has that chance because they have viable college football Power 5 wide receivers that they've brought into the fold. At least one. We know one is. The kid from West Virginia has done it at the Power 5 level and has been consistently good. Okay, so you got at least one, and we'll see about the other 3, right? Like maybe, hopefully. That's knock on wood.
One of them will at least block for the one. So there you go. So now you got the bubble game.
And then you talk about the emergence of McClain, and so maybe. So you're already saying that you've got a better receiving core, even if they're bottom of the barrel juxtaposed to expectation.
Right. So, okay, put it in a situation that we all remember. 4 minutes to go against Clemson. It felt like we had no chance, right?
Right.
Because we didn't really have a chance unless something crazy happened or Jordan just made a ridiculous play. Now put that receiving room on that field. You have a chance.
Yeah.
I think
that's
the material change that could occur this year, is you would have a chance in that situation.
Yeah, it is my great hope because I'm damn tired of watching football that is that one-dimensional and leaves you so few options. It tells you early in games. Now, we do this in the NFL all the time. When a quarterback is that limited, and we see guys that are limited, an offense that's that limited, however you want to say it, when you see that and you see defenses capable of doing something about it, the game's over in the first quarter. I mean, you may stick around. You may get lucky. There may be a special teams touchdown.
They may be poorly coached.
You may hang around and have a chance. But if you're going to put something together and have to make a play and you don't have the wherewithal to do so because you don't have the personnel, man, that's hard to watch.
But then also, again, look at the running back room last year. Yeah. I think it's probably better than this year. This year would have to prove, to fill in the hole for Corbin in order to make the overall ability of everybody across the board.
He went through a lull due to injury.
He did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about what balance does for that, because we were explosive but not consistent in the running game.
Yeah.
We could get you 25 quicker than we could get you 4. Or 1 or 2 if we needed 1 or 2, but we can get you 25 out of nowhere. You'd say, okay, explosive run, another big play, flipping the field, or we get up, we get to run in tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now if you're facing a 7-man box and they've got to account for it with a healthy Jordan Travis, his own legs, okay, you stand a much better chance of getting to 2nd and 6 more routinely than we did last year. We were in 2nd and 9, 10, or 11 all the damn time.
Yeah, really frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Yeah, winning first down will help.
You might be able to if they don't know what's coming.
I got to play you honest. That'd be a beautiful thing. First class is always free at Orange Theory Fitness. New members, you get your first month free with the purchase of a heart rate monitor. That is a great value there. Obviously, if you're a current member listening to this, make sure you refer friends because you'll get a discount on your monthly membership. Plus, you get people into the fold to enjoy more life, right? More life is what you get when you go to Orange Theory Fitness. You get that, and you get a team of experts and coaches and a science-based backed workout plan to get you the more life of which I speak. And I'm telling you, it is transformational. They're in the middle of the transformation challenge right now. Go find out what it's about. Don't just trust me. Go in there and get that free workout. That first one always being free. Learn from those coaches and see what it's like to join that team. Orange Theory Fitness. There's 2 locations in town. Check them out, orangetheoryfitness.com.
Your local news now.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said it is looking for a 60-year-old woman who went missing on Saturday, February 12th. Martha Martinez was last seen Saturday around 7:45 p.m. on Highway 90 near Lake Miccosukee, getting into an older dark-colored van driven by an older white woman with blonde hair. Before that, she was seen around 6 p.m. Saturday walking away from her house near St. Margaret's Catholic Church on East Washington Street in Monticello, traveling west towards the courthouse. At the time, she was wearing a white tank top with blue stripes, sandals, and a red backpack. LGBTQ advocates fought back against what they call the Don't Say Gay bill at the state capitol Tuesday morning. Protesters were trying to heighten public outrage against the bill, which they consider dangerous and bigoted. The group held signs reading the censorship state and charged Republicans with putting politics over people. The effort comes as GOP lawmakers continue to advance a policy which bans discussion of sexual orientation or gender identity in elementary classrooms. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with highs around 75. Southeast winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 57 tonight, partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 75 tomorrow, mainly cloudy. Chance for scattered storms Friday with highs in the mid-70s, mainly sunny skies Saturday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 75.
Now go call Seminole Glass. They'll get on the road and get it done fast.
Your local family-owned glass company, serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. At Seminole Auto Glass, we care about your safety. Insurance will send you wherever it benefits them, not the quality of service. There's a difference in auto glass companies. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass.
They handle any kind of broken glass, and you know who they are.
Better call Seminole.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
Do you know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on their clothes. With the hot dogs that they were making, we are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
Think? There was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Beautiful, if you're in Tallahassee, more beautiful Balls McWednesday than the one we have today. My goodness gracious. Why are we working? Come on, who are we kidding? We got to be out at Capital City Country Club swinging the clubs for the next 36 holes, Tom Wayne.
We could get 36 in if we started right now. Yeah, that's true.
Man, stunningly beautiful right now. I'm glad that somewhere along the way, I shouldn't say I'm glad. I'm not glad. It's just a sad byproduct of what's happened. But there was a time where I thought it was a special time to, tune into the Olympics. But alas, my friend, that time has passed. It's most of the time hit, miss, flip around, watch the luge. little ski jumping action.
Yeah, also
Anything wrought with danger.
The 13 hours ahead of us doesn't help either because it's never on when you want to watch it in terms of live television. But tonight, if you can stay up late enough, and I'm pondering it, I might tape it.
Stay up, buddy.
But it's the gold medal game between the United States and Canada and women's hockey.
Women's hockey, that's right. Once again.
Yep.
Once again.
Yeah. USA lost to Canada in a qualifying round, and they outshot him like 50-20. Kenny Albert was mortified.
And he was a documentarian because per your note, he mentioned it several times.
That's all he does. It's the only stat he knows.
16-4 in shots on goal. Yeah.
Lightning held without a shot the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Who cares, Kenny?
Yeah.
Who has the puck?
Yeah. Here's why I bring this up. And this was first guessed by everybody before the Olympics started, but the IOC nightmare. Here they are in Beijing, and this is a arbitration court, a stunning decision that allowed Russian figure skater, who I mentioned, was it Monday? When I was admiring Russia's ability to remain steadfast in their efforts to ensure their athletes had an edge in the Olympics illegally. I noted that they were unwavering in their support via drugs for their athletes. They care not for your international rules or, for that matter, any governing body when it comes to the Olympics. They are going to get their drugs on. Ever see the documentary Icarus? You ever see that?
Long time ago.
Really good, really good. It started off innocent, where this guy decides he wants to take the same drugs as these athletes just to see what it's like, because he's always been straight.
Yeah, right when it came out in late 2017. I remember seeing
great.
that. Yeah.
And then, he finds the guy that was the one providing the drugs for the Russian athletes, and he tells everybody how they did it, including having a building right next to the testing center that they had compromised to be able to change out urine samples in the dead of night while everybody slept, thinking that those samples were secure. So they had gone to these great lengths. And this guy was going to tell them all about it. And then the documentary goes from, oh, this is interesting, to, holy moly, that guy could die. Threats on his life. Your boy has to house him at his place. It's great. Watch it sometime, kids. You'll love it. But the Russian figure skater, Kamila Valieva, gets to continue to compete in the games despite having a positive test for a banned substance, which in and of itself is, what are we doing? Like, just, this isn't complicated. How?
IOC equals NCAA.
So she's 15. She is a star. She's the favorite to win the women's single competition. And so, the IOC decided to cancel any medal ceremony if she places in the top 3, is what they said going in. They're like, okay, well, and everybody, well, wait a minute. So I've trained my whole life, and let's say put aside for a moment that she shouldn't be allowed to compete after a positive test, but okay, you've decided to let her compete. I've trained my whole life. I'm not a star. She is. And I skate my ass off, drug-free, and say I finished second. I don't get my silver medal because her sorry ass got busted for cheating, and we're not going to have a medal ceremony? What are we doing here? This is how people get killed. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Imagine putting all your life into this. I don't get to medal.
Yeah, so if she finished with a bronze and I got a silver, we wouldn't have the ceremony?
We're not having the ceremony if she places in the top 3.
How about if I got a gold and she got a bronze, so I can't hear the anthem?
You don't get to hear anything. You don't get your medal. You
Right.
get nothing. You don't get your moment in the sun, the thing you've worked your entire life for. No, man. People get hurt. There's that's crazy person talk. And it's not like you didn't realize the IOC was crooked. And listen, you go all the way back to 2014, Sochi, first time Russia hosted the games since the Soviet Union fell. You remember this. 2 years after the fact, the New York Times, with that huge story, it was a state-sponsored doping scheme that we talked about on the air. And it was hilarious because they weren't even good at it. They had 15 athletes who medaled that had to be removed from the record books. They had to take all those medals back. 15 is a lot. They found out that all the Russians were cheating in every sport across the board. Systematic. So since that time, has Russia, this is the reason for the sarcasm on Monday, for those that didn't get it. The athletes of Russia, in international competition, were not allowed. Basically, they were neutrals. They couldn't win anything. They could compete, but they were neutrals. I guess that's how you.
They're not Russians. They're ROC.
Okay.
Right. So you can't fly your flag when you show up to the Olympics.
Yeah,
you are the Russian Olympic Committee.
So there's a significant vetting process before these Olympics, and they say, okay, you can compete. Now, so again, ROC, Russian Olympic Committee. What are we doing? So they're allowed to compete. Now, they're not going to be allowed to compete as a country in international competitions until December of 2022. So they can't even compete internationally. And here they are in the Olympics, right? Which is insane. And yet, here you have a minor in the middle of a doping scheme. And because she's a minor, they decide to protect her at the expense of all the other athletes. What are we doing?
Yeah, it makes me wonder, how much does your country suck that you have to conduct this type of widespread doping scheme in order to help the morale of people on the streets? How much do they hate life that they know that they need to appease their own people to keep them from, I don't know, storming the Kremlin? That you've got to get 16 and 17-year-olds into this widespread doping scheme. Well, and after you're caught, you still do it.
Well, think about this.
That describes to me how much it sucks to live in Russia.
I suppose, but beyond that, think about what we've already encountered in terms of not allowing certain athletes to compete for far less transgressions. Sha'Carri Richardson. That was the biggest deal in the world. She got popped for weed and was not allowed to compete. This chick just got popped for blood doping along with the rest of her countrymen. And it's not the first time. Why even have the Olympics?
Well, where are they being held too? You know,
I mean,
what are we doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
When you are approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group are here to help you preserve your retirement. The team at Preservation Financial Group can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create a comprehensive income plan designed around your needs. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risk before you retire. To schedule a free, no-obligation consultation, reach out to Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group today. 850-523-6118. That's 850-523-6118. Or visit them online at preservationfinancialgroup.com.
Hi, I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. And as an agent with Florida Farm Bureau, I'm continuing that promise. Farm Bureau Insurance has been protecting what matters most for over 75 years. Your home, your auto, your family, your life. Who's protecting you? Give me a call, 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. At Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
For about 50 years, Paul's Termite and Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses for thousands of people right here in the Big Bend. And we're quite proud of that. Fact is, all of us here at Paul's have families, and nothing is more important to us than their protection. By providing effective termite and pest treatments, we know we're aiding many right here in our community.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control performs many services designed for the protection of your family and your home. Programs like Pro Shield Complete, which encompasses termite and general pest control in one low-cost quarterly treatment plan. This program is environmentally friendly and is almost exclusively limited to exterior treatments, meaning pests and termites never enter your home. Termite programs like Centricon, a service which requires no invasive drilling or liquid applications. Plus, our lawn care team keeps lawns and ornamentals green and healthy.
Protection of your family, your home, and our environment, all are very important to each of us at Paul's. To learn more about our many programs, please visit us at callpauls.com.
For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Whatever this voodoo doctor is doing to the Noles basketball team, well, we need it, or at least a blood transfusion from Cam Akers himself. Yeah, no, that's a remarkable turnaround. That is one thing that has remained consistent over the last number of years, and it presumably it will be something that continues because, again, we look at the advancements in medical science and the year-round training. I think sports-specific, you see a lot of this. We talk about, coaches will reference the fact that receivers and quarterbacks and others oftentimes come in more polished than ever before because of the 7-on-7s and the year-round ability to train and do those sorts of things. There's also some things about that 7-on-7 that ruins players, but that's a different story. Just in terms of skill position stuff, guys come in oftentimes ready-made. But when you talk about advancements in just really sports-specific workouts, it's remarkable. It is so different. In my lifetime, a lot of times we go through a series of kind of thought exercises about could this player compete in this era and whether or not this guy, would he translate what his skill set is, the game, the skills required to play today's game, are any of those transferable to 1960-something or vice versa and all that. Man, the number one thing that separates all of the guys of today from the guys that played even in the 80s or 90s is the fact that you have so mumuch more of a greater base of knowledge about how to get the most out of your body for each specific sport. There aren't that many days of wasted motions. Everything's about functional strength, and functional strength is a relatively recent phenomenon. The strength that you were able to obtain in my day in the 80s or 90s really centered more around sort of base movements, some of which are still valuable, some of which are not. Like, you're not doing curls anymore. They're useless. But doing, like, obviously deadlifting, any of that stuff, cleans were always still important. Squats were always still important. But pretty much all you had was that. You had the military, you had bench press, you had incline, you had decline, you had deadlifts. That's about it. Anymore now, all of this is done in which you rewire your central nervous system in your brain. Like, you figure out balancing on a BOSU while holding 2 dumbbells and doing an explosive movement. That changes everything about what you are as an athlete functionally.
Yeah, the things that Alvin Kamara can do.
Oh,
you've seen that? He's like standing on the ball, and they'll toss him something. He's got to catch. It looks like a 3-part boomerang. He's got to catch the correct color side.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's the stupidest thing you've ever seen. It's just amazing what players can do, especially when you have those types of workouts with somebody who is wired like a Ferrari in their brain and their skill set.
Yeah, your best athletes certainly have a feel for their body and every part of it. When it's aligned right, when it's working right, when it's not, when there is a hitch in the giddy up, it can be fixed. They're usually very in tune with it, but even more so now because of the parts of their bodies that they're exercising that are very sports specific, using functional explosion and all of that. Yeah,
it's getting better too. Remember when we did the feature years ago, it was about sports hernias. You don't hear about that too much anymore.
No,
the core ripping against itself.
They got cores so damn strong that your body couldn't handle it. I still think it is a bit of a problem, but
it was a plague there.
Yeah, for a while there it was. We don't want to describe that injury any more than we have to. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
More of the Jeff Cameron Show, live and local on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Americans picking up the spending pace in January.
Retail sales rose a seasonally adjusted 3.8% last month compared to the prior month,
when the number dropped to a revised 2.5%. Sales at general merchandise stores rose 3.6%, while department stores saw business up 9.2%. Online sales surged 14.5%.
That is correspondent Jeremy House reporting from Washington. Washington and Beijing still butting heads. The U.S. now accusing the communist nation of failing to meet its commitments to the World Trade Organization and will explore new ways to combat aggressive Chinese trade practices. The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative says China is not keeping the promise it made to open its markets to foreign competition. Also at townhall.com, you should get ready for more financial pain caused by inflation. Ken Norman explains.
All over America, farmers are paying much higher prices for basics like animal feed, seed for crops, fertilizer, and seasonal laborers to help harvest crops. As a result, all those higher farm costs are likely to help push grocery prices even higher for the rest of the year. It's all made more complicated by ongoing issues in America's supply chain. Ken Lorman reporting.
In Chicago, a man who posted online to urge others to join the massive crowds that were looting downtown businesses in the summer of 2020 has pleaded guilty to inciting and participating in a riot. 23-year-old James Massey will likely be sentenced to 2 years when he returns to court in May. He was arrested last year after an investigation revealed he had posted several videos on Facebook. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's one box that you'd run back into your burning house to grab. It's the box filled with your videotapes, film reels, and photos. Those sentimental, meaningful, irreplaceable moments. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago so that we could help families save their memories from being destroyed by floods or fires.
And it's not just natural disasters, Adam. Every day, videotapes and photos are slowly fading away, decaying, neglected in closets and attics.
Digitizing your old media stops fading, and preserving those recordings means they are safe forever. It's like magic, converting your shoebox of memories into digital files, ready to watch and share.
It's the only way to ensure your legacy is safe for generations. That's why over 1 million families have already trusted Legacy Box. Legacy Box is simple and easy, it works, and is safe. We'd love to preserve your family's collection. Don't wait, the risk is too great.
Visit legacybox.com/LBox to save 40%. That's legacybox.com/LBox to get started and save. legacybox.com/LBox.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. At Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like and all that. Tomorrow I'm talking to Mike Martin Jr. for our annual preseason preview for Florida State baseball. Now, that will be played on Friday, so I will conduct the interview tomorrow morning. I'm very much looking forward to it, and it'll be a pretty decent length, long-form interview, and we'll have that for you on Friday. We'll run that. Hey, man, welcome back, FSU Baseball. Welcome back, FSU Baseball. I shared the story earlier this year, but I'll say it again for those that didn't hear it, just because I think it's encouraging, and it's from a non-biased observer who would be in the know. We have certainly context clues and certain statistics that tell us some of this, but maybe not perceptions from a professional standpoint. And that is that, Florida State's strength, obviously, this year going into the season is the pitching staff. And they have a depth of arms and arm talent that might be the envy, we'll see, of the entire conference, and one of the best perhaps in the country. And I was having a conversation, not a name drop, just happens to be that his son played on my son's baseball team. But I had a conversation, I mentioned this before, with David Ross, and he said that some of the scouts that he talks to, and obviously he talks to a lot of them since he's the manager of the Cubs, he said that they reported back to him that right here in his own backyard, because they know David lives here, is like, hey, man, there's some arms over there at Florida State that most of the league thinks very highly of. And I think the number he said was 4 that they're looking at closely for high draft round picks. So high draft picks. So that's okay then. Okay. No, listen, guys got to go out and perform and execute, get better, show that they can pitch, do all those things, make improvements, but you got potential.
I would think that would mean that he'd be probably at Hauser for the first couple of weeks of the season. Lord knows pitchers and catchers were supposed to report either today or yesterday, and he's got nothing to do there.
Yeah, well, it's interesting on that note, though, if you're noticing, I want to believe, and this is segueing into a different subject matter, but one that's near and dear to our heart and anybody who loves baseball, which I admit, given the audience and where baseball is at right now, might only be 30% of the people that listen to us. But that said,
they're mostly Braves fans, though, so they're happy.
Yeah, they care. I know down in Bradenton, for example, my beloved Pittsburgh Pirates have gathered in mass. A lot of players have shown up and begun to. I think it's an indicator, Tom. I'm finding that a lot of these guys have begun workouts. I don't really think you're going to do that if you don't think there's going to be a season, or it's going to be held off for months on end, or you think the impasse is so great that you can't ready yourself, because you don't want to risk getting hurt at this time.
They think opening day is a reasonable target. Yeah, but that's, what the hard part is about that. And let's say that they cut a deal in principle, right? Because it's never done. But like they have an in principle, the tweet goes out March 5th, something like that. Okay, does that mean that the rosters expand to start the season? Because, you've got to get your pitchers up, unless the pitchers on their own are getting themselves built up to a certain pitch count.
Scherzer, your guy, in fact, said he is doing just that. I kind of like the way that guy operates, man. He flat out said, look, I'm a veteran pitcher. I need a lot of time to get my body right to go to war, to do what I need to do, because he doesn't want to come out of games.
Yeah, for the ransom we're paying him.
And so my man's like, I need whatever that number is for your veteran pitchers in spring that you would normally get. He's like, I usually need more than that. I like to throw a little bit more than that. I don't want dead arm to hit me early in the season. So I've got to go through this process now. I'll just say this. If you pay a guy a lot of money to be your ace and to go out and, hopefully have 2 or 3 good seasons for you, you like to know that, okay, even in the midst of this nightmare where these two sides seem to be at a impenetrable impasse, he's out there working as if they're going to start on time. That's good news. Good news for you. I don't have anybody like that on my team.
Yeah,
what are you going to do?
I still think this is 1.0 on the super team thing, but we'll get there. We're going to become the Dodgers real soon.
Eminently hateable.
That's okay. Bring it on.
Yeah, and you'll know why.
If it comes with a trophy, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So I know people obviously realize that I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, but it's funny, somebody sent me this NFL from CBS noting that each of the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut have never made it back to the big game as a starter.
Well,
ready for the names? Because it's a trip down memory lane, and that's always fun, and we love to talk about quarterbacks. So here they are. Jimmy G, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, Rex Grossman. I could have told you Rex was never going back, but that's just an aside. Matt Hasselbeck, Donovan McNabb, Jake Delhomme, Rich Gannon, wrong end of an ass beating. Kerry Collins, wrong end of an ass beating. Steve McNair, Chris Chandler.
Woo!
Chris Chandler, what are we doing in the Super Bowl?
Losing to the Broncos.
Goodness gracious. But the NFL's Man of the Year had himself some fun the night before. It's always my favorite story. With wife in tow. Drew Bledsoe, Neil O'Donnell.
Neil O'Donnell. Oh, my goodness. They were actually close in that game. The Cowboys should be ashamed of themselves for how close that game was.
It stayed close for a while there, but yeah, Neil O'Donnell. And Stan Humphries. Good old Stan Humphries on the wrong end of a colossal ass kicking.
Quick story about Steelers and Cowboys, the Neil O'Donnell game, as I'm going to call it.
As you should know, by the way, that game was in Pasadena, and it was beautiful.
Well, I didn't get to see it because my parents scheduled a Sunday night dinner at a steakhouse in St. Petersburg.
That is child abuse.
Yes, I kept on leaving to go, and I'm however old. What year is that? Like 95? So I'm 8 to 10 years old, somewhere in there. I kept leaving to go to the bathroom. They said, "You're done. You're done going to the bathroom," because I walked by the bar.
You were watching the game.
Oh, it was a sign of things to come. I walked by the bar, saw the TV, and I'd stand there for 3 or 4 minutes.
You know, Dad, it's the Super Bowl.
I don't think he was happy either. He probably was the one who told me to stop going to the bathroom because he's thinking, well, if I'm stuck here, son, if you're not going to give me proper updates, you're too young to know what's going on.
You know, it's one of those things too where it's funny to look back. I don't know what video I was watching. It was a highlight reel for a player a while back, and they were showing some of those highlights. And I'm thinking back on the TVs that we watched. If you were walking past a bar to get a glimpse of a score in the pre-high definition era, my God, did you have to impose? I mean, the poor people at the bar had to feel your shoulders.
Well,
there was no chance you were setting gaze upon that 32-inch glass set and being able to discern anything. You know, you had to come up and be like, I'm sorry, just checking the score here.
Well, or if you're the person sitting at the bar, just be ready to be asked the same question 50 times.
Yeah. Down, distance, score, time. Can't see any of it from which I stand. Yeah. What do we got here? 2nd and 7 from the 34, second quarter, 10-3 Steelers. Got it. Thanks.
So the Bledsoe loss to Brett Favre and the Packers, that was Desmond Howard winning the Super Bowl MVP that night. My parents made me go to bed for the second half, and I watched it secretly on a Sony Watchman, the little black and white thing that picked up the air signal. That's how I watched the end of that Super Bowl.
Now, see, these are the moments that you're reminded of, despite all the woes and ills that modern technology provides us. It also provides the gift of being able to watch a game without having to, peer in as if it's the Zapruder film. You are able to now kind of just casually observe from great distances and clarity any game that you want, and it's glorious.
Well, what would do that for you? What would allow you to see
the
something
85-inch television that sits in Casa de Cameron, baby? Woohoo!
It must have been made the same time that the loaves and the fishes were made back in the biblical days, because it keeps on getting larger with every story.
Now it's 82 or 83 or whatever it is. It's something like that, but it's
89.
It's a big one.
A 92er.
I told you that, and I know how it works, because it's been this way since the advent of big screen televisions. But as soon as it's almost like buying a brand new car, the second you do, you lament it because you want the next best thing in less than a month.
You've got already regrets about your television?
I want a bigger one.
Oh my God.
Well, there's room. There's room. When I look at it and I really think about it, it bothers me that there's room. The room sits perfectly, and that TV
high ceilings.
Oh,
now you do have a point. Legitimately, you do have a point.
I have
there.
room.
Yeah.
I'm not even being gluttonous. I have room for a bigger television in that particular room, which is the ultimate TV viewing room, because you're at the right distance.
Right.
I could clearly get a 90-something inch television. And here's the other reason. Here's the other reason that it pisses me off. So Costco's to blame for this. You know how they get you.
Oh, yeah.
The second you walk through the doors of Costco, there are all of those televisions. That's the first thing you see. They're like, hey, look at us. They know that every dude that comes through there is going to do exactly that. Look at them. And as you do, you realize, and it takes less than 6 months.
Like a 4K red light district.
It's unbelievable. I can't help myself.
8K.
Look at that thing. So every time I go in, I see the television I bought like less than a year ago, and it's fantastic.
$50.
It is frustrating because it goes from what it was down to like $1,200. Really? Okay. $1,200. And then the newer ones, the even better, which you thought was impossible to actually assemble. There'd be no way you could make a better television than one that you got just 6 months earlier. But they do. They find a way. I'm telling you, half the time you look at the new televisions, when you see the landscape, because it's always some big, luxurious landscape, or it's a lizard in the desert running up on the camera. It's whatever, where you're like, look at that. I can see the granules. But so as you're doing it, you're like, I think if I were standing there next to that lizard, my view of this lizard in the actual desert that they filmed this in would not be as good as it is on this television. That's how far they've come. The television is better than real life. It's better than what we see all around us on a daily basis.
Oh, it's the next step of the internet. NFTs aren't just that, man. We're all going to be living in our Oculus sets. You're going to be attending basketball games not too long from now with Bryce and sitting, courtside.
Center court for the Celtics game or whatever. Any game, game of the night. Where do you want to be?
By the time he's halfway through undergrad and college, I bet that's exactly what's happening.
In truth, by the way, that is already happening to some degree. It is still a rarity, but it does happen. You can purchase whatever, league pass type things where you're able to watch because somebody is sitting there viewing the game from those seats and you pay a certain amount and you see what they see. Which, by the way, would be the greatest job in the world. Jeff, you have to sit center court tonight for the Clippers-Lakers. Make sure don't get all crazy because people are watching through your eyes. Okay? I'll do it.
Yeah, but that's going to become sterilized and perfected and cheapened by the time that everybody can do it.
Well, okay. So go back to this. It's part of the overriding issue for fan attendance at football games. We have this conversation annually, and it's only getting worse. And this is why Florida State, amongst others, are fighting so hard to rapidly improve all of the technology in the stadiums for which you have to beg people to come watch a game. It's hard to tell somebody with today's televisions and the clarity that I just alluded to, hey, listen, why don't you leave your home where that 90-inch television that I'm talking about exists, along with no strangers and a fridge right to your right and a bathroom right here. Why don't you leave that, drive 300 miles to attend a 98-degree game, in person so that you can feel the energy.
With Billy Ray to your right.
Tough to do.
He's gotten bigger again this year.
Especially because Billy Ray doesn't understand football, and he's not going to stop talking about football the whole time you watch the game. So you won't be able to ignore him.
20 pounds a year from Billy Ray.
At some point, he's taking off his shirt because it's too hot for him. He'll die otherwise. So now you're exposed to that in addition to his ramblings. And then you try to distract yourself by looking down and checking your fantasy team, but you can't do that because the technology and the internet inside Doak sucks. So there it is. There it is. In a nutshell, that's what you're up against. It's tough to do. Never mind the trek itself and the parking and then getting bent over by the hotels. All of it. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Were you sold a lifetime of dream vacations only to get stuck in a timeshare with a lifetime of rising fees, point scams, and lies?
I was completely taken advantage of.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group, has been fighting and winning battles with timeshare companies for over a decade, canceling over 16,000 timeshares, resulting in $257 million of timeshare debt eliminated.
I believe that it's my job and my duty to help people out of their timeshare if they've been lied to and they've been done wrong.
If it wasn't for Wesley, I would be broke.
Wesley Financial Group has thousands of verified reviews, averaging 4.9 and 5 stars for a reason. They get results.
I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
For your free consultation and information kit, call now. 800-969-5511. 800-969-5511. That's 800-969-5511.
This is Susan Gage with good news for homeowners. If you bought a home in Leon County last year, you may qualify for homestead exemption, but you need to file by March 1st. Leon County property appraiser Akin Akinyemi says there are many ways to file.
File online, by mail, at our office.
Remember, the deadline is March 1st. Visit leonpa.org or call 850-606-6200.
You can save hundreds of dollars on your property taxes.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk radio show. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where I provide clear answers to all your questions about Medicare.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, you know these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
Let's take a minute to imagine all the things you can accomplish with help from Southeast Portable Buildings. Are you a hoarder? Hoard some more. Get a storage shed. Mother-in-law moving in with you? Put her in a shed out back. I'm kidding. Still working on that engine that you're going to finish from last summer? Move it out to a new workspace with Southeast Portable Buildings. From she sheds and man caves to repair shops and trophy rooms, the possibilities are only limited to your imagination. Visit Southeast Portable Buildings today.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Really quickly, if you're thinking about solar panels, don't forget to think about the condition of your roof before you sign a solar panel contract. Call T-Spark Enterprises to come out and inspect your roof. The last thing you want to do is have to pay an additional $10,000 plus to remove your newly installed panels to have a new roof put on. No, you don't want to do that. Benefit to replacing your roof at the same time you have solar panels installed. There are opportunities, by the way, also for tax credits. In addition, you want to make sure your roof can handle the weight of solar panels and that your roof will not need to be repaired or replaced in order to do so. So there you go. Go check out our friends at T-Spark Enterprises Roofing and Construction. Best in the business. Yeah, will Burrow get back? I got sidetracked by 80-inch televisions and the like. I think it is a fair conversation shortly after the Super Bowl. Is what we do. We always project out to next year. We do 2 things as soon as the Super Bowl ends. We look at the draft because we're coming up on combine workouts and all that stuff. And especially because Florida State, we have a guy. I mean, everybody's excited to watch and see where Jermaine goes. I might note, watched another projection or read another one today that had him going 23 to the Arizona Cardinals. This was, I believe, ESPN, another mock. Oh, by the way, this mock, Tom, we had a fake trade.
Oh, great. All right.
McShay's back. A fake trade that saw the Steelers move up to get their quarterback.
Which is?
Malik from Liberty.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Not what I would do. I'm not moving up to grab Malik Willis, but who knows? What about Kenny Pickett? Big
hometown.
Kid.
He knows the field. He knows the playing surface.
Knows what it means to be Pittsburgh.
It's not his first moment of success in Heinz Field.
Steelers jump ahead to get their quarterback. Trade. We have a trade. The Steelers have moved up to 17, everybody. Boy, aren't the Saints going to be mad. They'll take Matt Corral and tell Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill to have a good day. So, as an aside, just keep falling, Traylon Burks. Keep falling to Tampa Bay, baby. But Jermaine Johnson was 23rd on McShay's mock.
Where do you think Jameis goes if you had to handicap it right now? Because it feels like a weird market because it's kind of soft with the draft. Brady, there's still kind of weird rumblings that he kind of wants back, but he doesn't want to play in Tampa, whatever it is. But there's really not a huge market unless the Aaron Rodgers domino falls, and that probably starts everything up, but it's just hard to figure on where things settle. So I feel like if you're Jameis agent right now, like you're probably in wait and see mode to hear about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and then you have a better sense of who your potential suitors are.
Yeah, I have a suspicion he ends up back in New Orleans. I think he stays in New Orleans. I think he likes it there. I think he was obviously having success at the time that before he got hurt. I think it was 13-2 touchdown interception ratio. He was playing pretty well.
Okay, so there's continuity between the defensive staff being elevated and Dennis Allen, if I have that right. But so what are they going to hire a continuous Sean Payton disciple to be their offensive coordinator, or would it be a brand new offense and a brand new OC for Jameis?
Yeah, that I don't know. And obviously he and his agent are going to wait to find that out. It'll be interesting to read, but, sit back and wait. Pittsburgh wouldn't be a bad place. Speaking of places that need a quarterback, they certainly don't have one now.
Minnesota, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what I will be surprised by, but I say that knowing that it only takes one. And I say that knowing that quarterback is hard to get right. The more you look at quarterbacks drafted in the first 2 rounds over the last 15 years, the more you really realize that even the best of the best and the ones who get it consistently right, there's a lot of 50-50 to that proposition. A lot of 50-50.
One of the interesting markets that apparently is going to be open for a new starting quarterback is Indy.
Yeah,
they're already off of Carson Wentz.
Well, I would be too. I mean, we saw enough there that I would be too.
But if you're Aaron Rodgers' camp or Russell Wilson's camp,
you want to go to Indianapolis?
Yeah, absolutely. That team is much like the Rams team. That's this close.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I agree. The surprise, though, that I was alluding to at quarterback is that some people have Sam Howell going in the first round, Tom. And you and I had this discussion during the regular season. But the more you watch Sam Howell without all of those weapons, and I'll grant you anybody would take a step back when you lose what he lost. But, man, you just don't see it, do you? I don't see it at all. I don't see him as a starting NFL quarterback. Certainly not a first-round pick.
No, he reminds me of about the same as, what's his name, Ellinger from Texas. Mm-hmm. Same kind of stocky build, not overly tall, can't see over the line of scrimmage. A gamer.
Nothing unique about him, though. Nothing uniquely gifted about him.
Correct. Except the hype. The hype was.
Yeah, but
every year for Mac Brown.
Well, he was a good college football quarterback. No, he's a good college quarterback. We would have been a good college quarterback for us.
There's a lot of those, though.
That's what I mean.
In the ACC, there's a lot of them, but Sam Howell was always put in this different stratosphere. It's like, well, he's not even the best quarterback in the conference.
No, he's not. And there's nothing. Yeah, again, when you're looking at a first-round quarterback, you'd like to see something that you could identify as unique. There's nothing unique about him. He's not overly tall at all. He's not fast. He's not all that athletic. Doesn't have a great arm. Yeah, don't see it. That's a tough sell in the meeting.
Well, he's plucky.
I mean, again, he does some things well, but yeah. Well, here are the Bucs in need of a quarterback. And by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm not segueing over to Sam Howell, God forbid. But obviously, they have a wait and develop Kyle Trask on their hands. So he's not ready.
If ever.
We just don't know. Doesn't seem like
it's a high pick. To have no hope.
Well, I don't know about no hope.
Well, you would think that there would be buzz around Tampa that maybe,
a little something, maybe
management might be willing to bring up his name more and say, hey, why don't you write a feature on Trask?
Yeah.
Good things are happening.
Didn't happen. Didn't hear that much.
See in that article.
Greatly overshadowed by the greatest quarterback of all time, understandably, though. That's but you're right. The fact that they were really pretty sure that if anything was going to happen, they were going to go to Blaine Gabbert. Yeah.
At all times.
That's a toughie. So of these potential holes in the roster, players that remain unsigned, here you go, at least in terms of who you keep, who you don't. Rapid fire. This seems very easy to me if you're trying to rebuild on the fly while fielding a competitive team. Ready? Re-sign or extend Ryan Jensen. Yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis. Yes.
Maybe.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to need it.
Okay. Leonard Jones. No. I mean, Ronald Jones. No.
No.
Jordan Whitehead.
Yes.
Yes. Alex Kappa. No. JPP. No.
No.
Ndamukong Suh. No. William Golston.
Yeah. He'll be there for his 50th season, but yeah. You're going to need it because Suh's going to take away your ability to stop the run, and Golston can do that.
Okay, so all I'm looking at with those names is I'm saying, okay, just lock in Whitehead, lock in Jensen, lock in Fournette, and if you can get Golston and
Get it for
Davis,
cheap. I mean,
yeah, Golston and Davis.
Yeah, Davis, I don't know. Something's wrong there. I don't know what's going on.
It's a fun topic. Every fan is doing this with their team now, but it is an interesting topic because you went from an abundance of riches and re-signed everybody at least for a singular season to make a run at it. Didn't work out, obviously. Had a good year, won the division, got to the second round, hosted a playoff game, did all those things. But now the dream is dead. It's over. You won the Super Bowl, and it's time to try to think about how quickly can you become an elite level team in the NFC. Can you win another NFC? Can you win an NFC South title again? That's not a great division. The Saints are in the midst of rebuilding. Carolina, a mess. Atlanta, maybe you think Atlanta's the odds-on favorite going into next year? Probably.
No, I mean,
It's
but what odds on?
Yeah.
Like
So it's kind of wide
marginally?
open. Is my
Yeah.
point. It's kind of wide open. You got to find a guy at the helm, and Jimmy G.
No, I mean you mortgage the future for Aaron Rodgers if he wants to play.
That's not happening. He's not coming here. He's like, man, I'm not taking Tom Brady sloppy seconds. I'm not doing this. There's no chance I'm doing that. I'm talking about
I understand.
Football related. It's
Yep,
a Jeff Cameron
yep.
Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
2 men were detained after being stopped on I-10 in Leon County on Tuesday. On Tuesday before noon, the Tallahassee Regional Communications Center spotted a pickup truck that had stopped twice on I-10 westbound next to vehicles that were either disabled or abandoned. Florida Highway Patrol troopers were sent to investigate. The pickup truck was stopped by FHP personnel at 196 eastbound. 2 men, both 39 years old, of Naples, were detained by FHP troopers. Inside the pickup truck were multiple catalytic converters. The Suwannee County School District says its high school's assistant principal is on paid administrative leave while an investigation is ongoing. Superintendent Ted Roche says a third party is looking into allegations made in late January against Gary Caldwell. The district did not release the details about the allegations against Caldwell. Roche says more information will be released once the investigation is complete. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with highs around 75. Southeast winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 57 tonight, partly cloudy. Daytime highs approaching 75 tomorrow, mainly cloudy. Chance for scattered storms Friday with highs in the mid-70s, mainly sunny skies Saturday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 75.
Our friends at ISF work hard to help their clients solve the future. ISF is an integrated IT and management consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, serving clients all across the country. With the new year upon us, ISF reminds you to create a clear strategy, optimize your process, and modernize your technology to meet all your goals in 2022. For more information, visit ISF.com. That's ISF.com. ISF, solving the future. If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone to include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
They're gonna have more than 2 wins when you count in the magical week.
Oh my God, this again.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I would love to believe that to be true. I can't believe that you and I are going to set the stage, which is exactly what we're going to do for the big matchup against Boston College. What a Monday. Big Monday indeed, Tom. Big Monday indeed.
The biggest of Mondays.
I do care about it. I do care about it. I am excited to see if they, that win gives them this opportunity. And for those that missed it, we did talk about it last hour. We began the show with it and all the facets of it. Obviously, we did not look past an important and moving story, one that saw the revelation that Jared Lynn is an FSU student manager who has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and was returning to his hometown to receive treatment. Team rallying around that news and fighting for him. And Coach Hamilton was emotional when talking about that in the post-game press conference last night. I thought it was a pretty touching scene, without question. And I think it's even more touching. Obviously, if you just have a measure of humanity, you get the significance of that. But knowing how Coach Hamilton feels about the people in his program and those that either play, assist, work for, whatever it might be, the program, and how that is a big family. And I saw where Jared Lynn tweeted that and pointed out that it is more than basketball, that it is a family. And that is the sense that we've always gotten from that program. And one of the reasons that I think we as fans have rallied around it is that it is bigger than basketball. And it has become a thing that, you watch former players, even guys that didn't, I guess you could argue that left early that shouldn't have, or guys that sought other opportunities and put the team in a bind. Even those guys are kind of welcomed back with open arms. Once you've played for him, provided you don't do anything, the transgression isn't absurd, isn't something that jeopardized other members of the team or the program itself, then you're welcome back. Missteps are forgiven pretty quickly.
They are, yeah. There's one particular player, and Ham's been here for going on 20 years, so, it could be anybody. But at one point during his tenure, I heard this story. This player left the program, did not go to the next level, went to a different college, and then needed some help. And I'm not talking about monetarily. I just advise things like that. And coach was asked, well, why would you help that person necessarily? Because of the way things ended.
Yeah, ended here. Yeah.
He's one of ours was the answer. He's one of us.
Yeah.
And that speaks to, what he fosters behind the scenes that has so many people. When the NBA was a summer league in Vegas, there was that photo of all the, FSU grads that wanted to get together to meet up, to hang out with each other. Let's get back to that. Hopefully yesterday was a step in the right direction there, because when you have a coach calling out energy and effort and consistency of effort, well, then we need to get back to the most recent couple of weeks.
Did you think that when Hall drew the defenders and kicked out to that open 3-point shooter that we were screwed?
We've had a lot of luck actually in our building with wide open shots towards the end of the game. Like sometimes they're half quarters, but sometimes they're open shots from the corner. I remember Notre Dame had one look like that a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
I felt okay. His name wasn't RJ Barrett, right? Because it was Barrett who knocked down that one that we were looking at.
Straight money. And as soon as it left his hand, we knew it.
I will say I did go Matrix for that, 0.8 seconds. Not like this. Not like this.
Yeah. Well, listen, I thought that Nick Honor was incredible last night, and I thought that when you look at that play, it was a smart play. What they drew up was good. I mean, he drew 3 Florida State defenders, and why not? He had been unstoppable, and then kicks out. That's a wide open look, and my man just comes up a little short.
He ends up playing pretty well against us, generally speaking. The stat sheet doesn't show it last night, but he's a tough player. I remember last year, it was at the game, maybe it was 2 years ago, the game on the road. There's sometimes there are players that just stick out to you from other programs, and when Clemson doesn't have very many good players over the last 10 years, every once in a while they stick out. But Honor's line last night wasn't great, but it was a great play, and he was a thorn in our side last time we matched up at the Little John.
Yeah.
And we survived it. It doesn't matter how right now with this program, and sadly, it has for a long time. It mattered how you won because we were going to win.
Yeah, it was funny because you're right. I think about the little things, and if you look at rebounds and the way he plays defensively, you're right. I mean, the star of the game is PJ Hall for them,
right.
but that's a guy that when you look at him physically, we don't have anybody for him right now. I mean, we don't really have anybody for that guy. He's the kid who scored 28 on us last night, right? Yeah. He's a physical mismatch for us right now, and that just shows you where we're at. I mean, normally we would have something for that. We're usually the bigger, stronger team, and we can run length at people all day long. But he kind of had his way. He was really, really good, and he got to the free throw line because of course.
Everybody did. Who didn't last night? Who didn't get to the free
throw
throw
total
line?
number of free throws did you say?
Let me go back. I think it was 65 between the two teams.
It was a lot.
65 attempts.
36 for them. 30. Oh, it was more
66,
than that.
66.
Yeah.
And if you look at the point totals, because they both shot identically percentage-wise, but you had 55 points from the stripe, and there were, quick math, 161. So
between Evans and Hall,
right,
from the free throw line, yes, you have a little 24 of 26.
But over a third of the scoring in the game is from the stripe between both teams. I mean, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we needed that, as I said in the first hour. I think when we're as thin as we are, if the game is a little bit more segmented and not flowing, that probably helps us.
I just hope that there's some confidence being gained for Cameron Fletcher. I hope that you're starting to see a little bit of it with Matthew Cleveland, at least in terms of better efficiency shooting the basketball. I think we're all obviously bitterly disappointed that there hasn't been an emergence of a big ever. And listen, Quincy Ballard is a guy that I would have thought at some point you'd get something out of. You're really not. Tanner Ngum has had injury issues, and then obviously we know just how injury riddled this team is in general. So it's frustrating. It's hard to find 2 more wins, but that's all you need to finish with a winning season.
Yeah, thanks, Life Spectator on the chat. It was Reddish who had the shot because Barrett was the decoy.
You're right.
But I mean, that was a tough circumstance that you're up 1, so you're playing against the 2, and then they kick out. But it was only back iron. That was the only way that thing was going to miss because it was online.
As soon as he released it, we stood right next to each other, and I think we said audibly as the ball left his hand and we saw the rotation, damn it.
Yeah, maybe a little stronger.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's wide open. It's a great play. The inbounds pass is perfect. It's right there. He catches in rhythm. It's not just that he sees the open man because he's open. You ought to be able to see him.
Let's just get the board off the missed free throw, and then you win that game.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like, in those days, you could only pick between 3 or 4 losses over 4 years, and you're like, man, we would have got that Duke one too, but we had a lot of overtime results that went our way, and a lot of last second moments. I can think of quite a few with Trent Forrest involved in the middle of it that went our way.
Good for them for fighting was the whole point, and a nice little pick me up there, and another great moment for RayQuan Evans, who has had 3 or 4 of them this year. And listen, this is a guy whose career is at least in terms of the player that he's been here has been checkered. If you can use that word, I don't mean character or anything like that, but like he has his moments where you're like, okay, he's coming along, and then there's 4 straight games where you're like, okay, we really have to do better than RayQuan Evans. And I understand his story too, and so I root for that kid desperately. Really happy for him last night because it's not the first time this year, and I hope it's not the last. Maybe we have another heroic moment like that against Boston College on Monday,
right?
As we're trying to find these wins, you're gonna have somebody do that.
It's funny, because there is a game between then and now, but we're just kind of we're moving past it.
I'm not looking at that game. I have no desire to see that game. I'll be stunned if I get a notice on my phone. Jeff, tied. Cameron Indoor, 57-57 with 5 to play.
Oh, wait a minute. So the phone's going to have to tell you.
Oh, I'm not watching. No, I won't be watching. I'll be ready. Isn't that the same time Florida State baseball?
Don't you have any pride?
Yeah. That's why I'm not watching.
No, it's 2:00.
Oh.
2:00. So you can watch both.
I can do both.
See, solved your problem.
Probably won't. Maybe watching a little golf, playing a little golf. Who knows?
Oh, the Riviera. Yeah,
dude.
The Genesis, technically.
The Genesis is right, and the Riv is fun to watch. That's a good tournament. That's a real good tournament. I want to play number 10 once in my life. I got to get out there and play number 10 because that's a cool hole, and it looks exceptionally difficult where guys actually chip away from the hole, obviously, and they try to, you're trying to miss on the fat side of the green, see if you can get there.
Have you done your research yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You need some floaters, some guys at the lower end of the spectrum from a salary standpoint.
I'm a man of the people.
Okay. I'll get it to him. The tournament starts tomorrow, so maybe you want me to do that at the last second here. I'll give you a couple of names. But this is a classic course for those that have played. Listen, you're going to hear is the Kikuya, the type of grass they play on there. You're going to hear that said 4,000 times when the tournament starts. It's annoying. Like, the first person to hit one wayward of the fairway and end up in the rough, you're going to, how are they going to deal with the Kikuya? Here, let's see what they do with the Kikuya. That's all they're going to talk about. They do it every year. It drives me nuts.
It'll be, what's his name? The guy who went nuts. Ian Baker Finch. It'll be him.
Well, they're going to went nuts.
So, you got the yips.
Yeah. Forevermore.
Yeah, golf nuts.
Apparently he shoots 66 when he's playing with his buddies, but put him in a tournament, forget about it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a toughie.
Made another birdie. Yes. Let's put some money on it.
No, that's a little toughie. But you'll hear that a lot. But also, the point is, Max Homa won this a year ago. Remember, he stole it from Tony Finau, who choked like he likes to do. Homa, that's his home course. So, yeah, he knows it and played well there. But he came in last year, I think, at like 40-1, 50-1. So that you got some long odds on a guy that won it. This tends to produce guys that have played well there before. Horses for courses holds true here. Also, I might say in perpetuity, if John Rahm and Patrick Cantlay are each playing in a tournament, they are the 1 and 2 seed of every tournament hereafter, because right now, nobody's playing better than those two. Rory's in the field this week. By the way, this field, when I commented last week on how great the field was, and it was, this field last year was better than the field at the Masters. People love this tournament. It's incredible. You have the top 10 players in the world playing this week. Dustin Johnson's back. Rory's back. This is a Cantlay, Rahm. This is a goodie.
This is why we need those insights.
I'm here for you, baby. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Kyle, service manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
When some slithery, slimy something shows up uninvited in my home, I want it gone. Now. Not next Tuesday, not tomorrow. Today. Pretty sure I'm not sleeping knowing that thing is crawling around in my house. That's why I call Paul's Termite and Pest Control. Here in Tallahassee, Paul's guarantees same-day service if I call before 1. Ants, roaches, mice, wasps, fleas, whatever it is, Paul's responds with guaranteed same-day service. Pretty sure I've never heard that from any other pest company. Guess that's an advantage to being a locally owned and operated company like Paul's Termite and Pest Control. They're here and make things happen fast.
We at Paul's know when you have some pest or rodent in your home, you want it out now. That's why in Tallahassee, we guarantee same-day service. You call us before 1, we'll be there before 5, guaranteed. That's our commitment to you. The health and protection of North Florida friends and neighbors is the reason we love our jobs.
For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Learn more at callpauls.com.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ. How you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. If anything, I feel more calm. I don't feel like I have to run around looking for company, and my people can leave me alone with the couch cushions.
Hey, I can stop anytime I want. Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. Tally Spay. For more information and to schedule a same-day surgery and pickup, go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight? We'll know in about 47 seconds.
Into an open wing. It's picked up by Dowdy, an empty net. He scores.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy. All right, Big Daddy.
Win some, occasionally you lose some. I did both yesterday with the college sports book. My problem is that I underestimated the level of suck that Missouri's capable of. Arkansas came through for me, no problem, lit it up, over 75 points, 76 points. Missouri, inept. I described all of that correctly in the video, but I just needed to get to 133 or 135, whatever it was. Sorry-ass Missouri scoring in the 50s out here. Arkansas's got their backups in there.
Arkansas shortening the game, that kind of a thing, because they're no threat.
There's no threat. So it hurt me. But I did take Arkansas first half -4. They covered that rather easily. If you were trying to bet against our beloved Noles, I hope you took Clemson +2 and not on the money line. Just saying. That field of which you speak, the Genesis Invitational, great event, a lot of fun, requires an awful lot of precision with your irons. I'm leaning towards Colin Morikawa. Now, that won't surprise anybody because it's an LA kid in Riviera. But I would tell you that of the great names that are in this tournament, and it's mostly all of them, I like him an awful lot. And I'm never going to bet against Victor Hovland. And I think soon we're going to get a lot of Colin Morikawa versus Victor Hovland versus John Rahm versus Patrick Cantlay. And I'm going to sit back and love all of it.
That was the beauty of the Ryder Cup. You got those things.
Yeah, you did. You really did.
And they all were playing well at that time.
Well, I mean, you think about what you have access to this week. Dustin Johnson, Patrick Cantlay, John Rahm, Colin Morikawa, Rory McIlroy. And then from there, the second tier of young and up and it was Xander Schauffele's in this tournament.
And Xander's been playing well too. When you said 1 and 2, well, Xander's probably 3, firmly number 3 in that conversation.
Got to win. The problem is he's got to win. He doesn't ever win. He's right there. He's always right. That's why Scheffler needed to win, and he did. He did, and that was important. By the way, one criticism of the waste management. We talk about how much we like 16, and I like 16, and I think it's great. 17 is one of the best holes in golf. It's a drivable par 4. It's a risk-reward hole. Why would you have the playoff be on 18?
I agree. I totally agree.
That pissed me off. What are we doing? Stop playing 18 over and over again. Now, I don't want you to go back to 16 because that but 17. Go
17
to 17.
is risk-reward all
Let's
of it.
go.
Beautiful.
I don't understand. But this tournament, second tier of good players: Schauffele, Scheffler. I think Will Zalatoris is amongst that group that'll get a win real soon. He's a real good player, and he'll play well out there. Victor Hovland, he's not second tier, but he's on the list of great players. Guys this week that play this course well, horses for courses. Cam Smith's a guy that a lot of people will look at. Van Ruin is another player a lot of people will look at.
He's close.
Yeah, he can be a good player. He can be. You know who's playing decent golf and this course might suit him?
Pat Perez.
No, but that's fair. If you get him way down the list. Francesco Molinari playing more golf these days. Come on, Molinari. We want to see you get back in the fold, baby. Well, and Max Homa will play well.
And that's Tigers tournament, right?
Yeah, he's the host.
Fran, I would love for you to win this week.
I forgot that he refers to him as Fran all the time.
Come on, Fran. Let's get it together. You got one of the best up and down games in the business. Come on, Fran.
He protected Fran. He went to great lengths to protect Francesco Molinari when he was being interviewed about his win at the Masters. Fran hit a terrible shot. And he was, well, that's unfortunate.
This is a tough shot for Fran. He's been playing so well the whole,
It was a good shot. The
Fran
wind
is such a good player.
The wind got him. The wind. And you're like, well, no, it was a bad shot, Tiger. You don't have to. He didn't go that length for Finau or anybody else. Francesco, he wanted to protect. Brought him close to the bosom. I got you, buddy.
Fran knows things.
Fran's had a good time.
My time in Venice.
Yeah. Fran knows things is
Fran
right.
knows too much.
Mm-hmm. So that said, if you want a guy way down the list, Doug Gim. There you go.
Ooh.
I'm going way down the list for you. Get you some Doug Gim, everybody.
G-H-I-M.
That is correct. That is correct. Yeah, and the reason I do it, and here, let me look at my gambling ledger here on my phone with my bookie. Let me see. Who did I take? Let's see. Who did we take here? Here you go.
The transparency here is off the charts.
I do like Joaquin Neiman. I do like Tony Finau. And I do like, well, Dustin Johnson's back.
Neiman's a sneaky good pick.
He's a really good player. Matsuyama likes this course. I don't know. You really can't stray too far this week. But
it's an all-star event. Wait till after 36 holes and then place an educated wager.
Cam Smith's a good pick. And like you said, Schauffele's a good pick. I gave you 10. I don't know. It's not that far off the ledger.
I don't know that we have any insights there. It's just
Doug Gim is a hell of an insight.
Doug Gim's an insight.
Jeez, Louise. I'm giving you a guy. Most people are like, who the hell is Doug Gim? Doug Gim sitting there in the top 10. If you got him, you guys need to bring me some money.
I got a hockey play for you, and this is going based off the Sharps.
I'm going to give you one other off the radar, sprinkle some pizza money, way off the radar, and I'm going to stay with this kid as long as we're out here on the West Coast. Aaron Wise at 180 to 1.
180 to 1.
180 to 1. Pizza money.
Yeah.
Let's say Aaron Wise makes it
even
happen.
Get one of those.
Let's go ahead and
it's already warm for you, pizza money.
Yeah.
That'd be good money.
Yeah, 180 to 1. By the way, Tony Finau is 53 to 1.
You got to win it.
I'm just saying.
You got to make putts to win it.
I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead. Give me your hockey game.
The hockey game, two really good teams tonight playing. Great matchup, 7:35 p.m., Florida, Carolina. That could be an Eastern Conference Finals preview.
Is it in Carolina or Florida?
It's in Carolina where they play well, but I'm watching the Sharps here. This is solely based on the Sharps, no hockey insight, because these are evenly matched teams that are really good. But it opened at Florida plus 105, straight up. It is now Florida minus 115.
Ooh.
Something's afoot.
Okay.
Something's
I
afoot.
see you working over here. I like the pick. Okay, well done. Hey, if you like head-to-heads, take you can get some plus money on Thomas Peters over Mark Leishman. You can get some can get some plus money on Hideki Matsuyama over Xander Schauffele head-to-head. You get
Is that a Thursday only or is that the whole week?
You can do Thursday only. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You can do full tournament head-to-heads. That's what I was referencing.
Yeah, that's much better. There's much more,
All right. Well, I mean, Patrick Cantlay's plus 115 over John Rahm, and seeing the way John Rahm putted it last week, I'm taking Patrick Cantlay at plus 115. Full tournament.
Tall boy.
All right. There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you just took the number one player in the world against me. That's fair.
Yeah, well, that's why it's a tall boy.
Okay.
I'm asking for Alexis.
Plus 115 over here. Do I get two tall boys?
You get a tall boy and
a sip of your tall boy?
A coronita. I'll get you a coronita. The little guy.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. You want some more pizza money sprinkles? Here's a little Sung JM for that ass at 45 to 1.
Okay. But you know what?
Yeah.
Top 5, he's probably like 20 to 1 or 15 to 1.
He'll be there on the weekend.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. Cut making Jesse.
I love the top 5 bets.
I do too. They're fun.
A lot of playoffs this time of year in the PGA, always.
Good work for you, out of you. Good work, Matthew. Thanks to all of you. Be well. Enjoy your day. Talk to you again tomorrow.